Sonoma County Library and the volunteer collective SRZF are excited to announce
Santa Rosa Zine Fest 2020, #SRZF 2020.
A free online event for all ages on November 7th from 2 to 5 p.m.
Santa Rosa Zine Fest will feature an interactive artist conversation between Amanda Ayala and RJ Simon.
A discussion between authors Maia Kobabe and Tessa, and a workshop by Yael Levy.
Habrá interpretación en español para todas las sesiones.
Zines are small, do-it-yourself publications that can be about anything. How-to guides, comics, a collection of poetry, an art book, etc.
The Santa Rosa Zine Fest was founded to build the arts community of our dreams, one that is radically inclusive, diverse, and accessible.
We are excited to connect with people of color, queer and trans folk, and people of all ability levels and others who feel unrepresented in the art scene of Sonoma County.
a limited number of craft bags will be available for people 12 to 18.
For more information about the availability of those DIY zine kits, the event, and to register for sessions, click the link below.
We are pleased to introduce the Santa Rosa Zine Fest and this Digital Artists Alley in celebrations of zines, mini comics, and local talent.
Enjoy!
Bye.
My name is Nikki Rodriguez. I am a zinester and cartoonist currently based out of Denver, Colorado. I make mostly zines, autobiographical zines that explore different aspects and intersections of identity. I focus on talking about my queerness, about being Puerto Rican, being a first generation Puerto Rican, and kind of like grappling with that diasporic identity. And also talk about things like mental health. I'll be showing some of my zines that are available in my store, as well as different places to go ahead and find my work. The first zine I have here is called La Ventana. The title is in Spanish, but the comic itself is in English. And it's basically a short comic about my experience with sleep paralysis. And it's actually one of the objects in my Etsy store where you can get my physical zines and posters and prints and things like that. That's on sale during the whole month of October for Halloween. Little spooky things are on sale there, including these two little Halloween mini prints. I also have this zine, I'm Too Laced for This, one of my more popular zines, and just it's a short zine that just discusses kind of like my coming to terms with and understanding and acceptance of being a bi-ace person, kind of what that means. And it's nice because this zine has like led to a lot of conversations with different exhibitors and attendees at different festivals who really relate to it, but also are just like wanting to talk about like more ace representation. So it's definitely something I hope to expand on. I also have this one called Things I Wish I Said in My Exit Interview, and it's a zine that just talks about how sometimes you have a really crappy job and just like finding your self-worth and learning how to like quit that job and kind of move on. I also have these two zines, which are part of a larger autobiographical graphic memoir series that I'm working on. And they are both done in traditional ink wash and like scanned in to the zine formats. And basically the overarching story is just kind of like a coming of age, except, you know, you're in your 20s, figuring out who you are as an individual and like understanding different parts of your identity. And it all happens through kind of like engagements with a friend group that you finally feel like you set roots down after like kind of like experiencing instability throughout most of your life. So yeah, we've got Cathartic, which is the more recent one, and the first one in the series is Lunares. Another series I have is called Viajera, and it's Spanish comics poetry. It's like photo poetry, so it uses different photos I've taken from my trips in Puerto Rico and juxtaposes it with Spanish and English. Each zine itself is like a poem. The images in the poems are deconstructed, and the subject matter is always about like homesickness and like what home means and how do you find home and things like that, just like reconnecting to the place your family's from. And then my two most recent zines are The Silence of Time and then Unwelcome Visitor. They're both made during the pandemic. Silence of Time is specifically about the longing for like more peaceful times and kind of those like that youthful naivety you had when you were a kid and like finding comfort in that in times of tumultuous times like now. And it was really an experimentation, like just different, more kind of abstract and fluid paneling and really saturated colors. Like I'm big on saturated colors, so all my zines are very colorful, and each zine is like different compared to the one before and next to it, things like that. And then Welcome Visitors, specifically about that like feeling and sense of dread you get when things go wrong or when things are changing, and kind of like the different points in your life when you feel that sense of dread and like kind of connecting those situations together. So you could get all these on my Etsy store, and with every Etsy purchase while supplies last, I'm actually going to be giving away these free pins, which I usually sell at Zine Fests. So you can get like Vejigantes one, and Vejigantes are the carnival characters in Puerto Rico, or you can go ahead and get the Plátanos one, which are plantains, which you eat in Puerto Rico. But these are different places you can find me and my work.
Hi there, my name is Quinn Valentine. I'm 24 and I'm a trans queer disabled artist of the Bay Area. I've been doing art for probably 2 decades at this point. I mostly do painting and printmaking, including things like etching, lithography, gouache, watercolor. I do drawing as well as zines. And I have been doing a couple with more planned in the future on my experiences as a queer Satanist in the Bay Area, which is where Satanism began in the 60s. And sort of my thoughts on the movement, things I found in research, community I found with others who sort of had insights that were similar to mine and those that were different from mine. I try to include a lot of humor in my work to sort of lighten up the subject, because I know when you say Satanism to people, that can be a little spooky, scary. But I hope that by creating these things, I can get more people interested in it and sort of learning about what it is, even if they themselves never get into it. Places that you can find my work as well as purchase it are my Instagram, Satans_fluffer. On Twitter, I'm at Soft Satanic. Those are sort of the two main places you can find me. And in the bio/description of those, you can find links to my shops as well as donation points to help me out, which I would deeply appreciate. So hopefully you'll give it a look, give it a chance, and see what you think. Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Seamus McGuinney, and I'm in San Francisco. I do kind of game art and illustration, some cartooning, and thank you for stopping by. I have a couple books to show. Main one is Bunny Man, My Life in the Easter Charade. This is a tell-all memoir about my experience working as the Easter Bunny in a mall. And this was after I got laid off and I needed a job after 9/11, and this is what happened. And it's chock full of weird little episodes that was really fun to draw out, my catharsis, I suppose. And also I have Your Moment of Duck, which is a webcomic I do on Instagram. And I compiled it last February before the shutdown into a book. So it's debut now. It hasn't been seen. And it's basically two ducks engaging quietly about the meaning of life in some ways. I also have a piece coming out in February in an anthology called COVID Chronicles, which is a debut publication from the new imprint of Graphic Mundi. And my piece is about the story of my mom getting COVID and our journey for the couple of weeks or so until her passing and what that was like. So there's going to be some really interesting stories in that anthology, and you can pre-order that right now on Amazon.com. You can find me in social media. On Twitter, I'm at Sean Seamus. On Instagram, I have 3 profiles. One is at SF Sean Seamus, my main one. My art one is at Sean Seamus Art. And then my webcomic, Your Moment of Duck, can be found at Your Moment of Duck. And my email again is seanshamus@gmail.com. And if you're interested in buying either of these books, drop me a note, and I take PayPal or Venmo. Thank you.
Hey, my name is Yael, and I'm here in my studio in Berkeley, and I'm going to show you some of my zines. So my work kind of runs along these 2 separate avenues. One is autobiographical, nonfiction, things that are either about myself or about real life, usually in kind of like mixed media, drawing combined with photos, with comics all together, which looks kind of like this. So this is one. If you start to look inside, you start to see what I mean. kind of a little bit all over. This one in particular is possibly my most all over. This was my MFA in comics thesis, which will one day become a book. This one is more called Mermaid Beach. It's kind of a travel comic that happened after a trip I took to Mexico. I also kind of realized that there's like a mermaid beach in almost every country I've been to, and I do want to continue and there's at least 3 other mermaid beaches that I've been to in other places, and I'm gonna make those soon. So far, this is the only one that exists in physical form. This one is just from like One Little Moment. It's the only zine I have in Hebrew, which is my first language. I do have a version of it in English too, and it does have like the magical effect of having the last panel be on the inside, but then you have to deal with folding it back. This one's called Okay Bye. It's about housing adventures or misadventures in the East Bay. It's from last year. Happy to report I still live in this place where I ended up at the end of this place. So after like moving a lot, I actually found myself pretty stable. Been in the same place for almost 2 years. But this is some of the stuff from before that. This is my most recent comic that I made for an anthology, but this is sort of just the one story. It's 8 pages about my name and how often people get it wrong, and then also what the actual story is. People always want to know. It's an ibex. It's a character from the Bible. This is the story of the character from the Bible. It's a little bit of how, like, my name is also Leah, and people who meet me online think my name is Leah, which is actually my grandfather's mother's name. But bottom line, if you know me, you know my name's Yael, so now you know. But you can read the whole story if you get this zine. All these zines that I just showed you, you can get on my website. The other avenue, this was all the nonfiction myself. Other side, I also teach comics to young people and older people sometimes too. And I've been working with this little monster called Biscuit Beast for a few years now. I eventually made a full zine, sort of just showing the evolution of Biscuit and how they came to be, and some like adventures that Biscuit found himself in. Some little comics and doodles and exercises, and only after like 3 years of working with Biscuit, I realized maybe the bow tie is actually holding a cape. Biscuit continues to develop as time goes on. This is like the big Biscuit zine, and then I have these little zines that are actually little. Biscuit teaches you how to make the little zines, so they're little tutorials about how to make the zine that they are. The like 8-page mini or the 16-page tiny mini, and they always come with templates, so you can make your own. I also screen print sometimes, and so I have these moon moths print on the website, and then I think I also have like 2 left of these Biscuit Beast prints that are like 2-color fun little things. I think that's 5 minutes, so I should stop.
Hello, I'm Anne, and I love cats and other cute things and weird stuff. So you'll see that in my zines and my other artwork, like stickers, journals, postcards, and little bags. So let's check it out. Ooh. Here you'll see that I have stickers. Here's one of my little weirdos. Here's one of my cats. I have all of these available on Etsy. And then I have zines like like watercolor weirdos, monochromatic weirdos, and even just like ink designs that are super strange and curious. And then I also have greeting cards, and some are fart related. Of course, that has to happen. And then I have journals. So you can see that I have these high quality lined journals available both on Etsy and Redbubble. And I have, these are available on Etsy, little cloth bags with cute little cartoon iron-on artwork pieces. And then my main attraction here is my original artwork that I have begun selling this year. And they're actually fairly affordable, like accessible prices, because it's gouache or watercolor on watercolor paper. But they're all signed and they're all in really nice little packages, and they're all available on Etsy. So please feel free to check me out. I'm also on Instagram, and I post almost every single day, and I've started a new character named Fluff Nugget, and she goes on all the adventures, and I hope you have a fun time just perusing and a great rest of the year. Thank you.